first quarter all-pro team now that we're through 5 weeks of the NFL season. Who's the best quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive players? Let's run down the list here. All-pro quarterback, first quarter of the NFL season is going to be Patrick Mahomes for me, without question. I think he's still playing the best football in the game. Of course, we've got some Tuas of the world and the Brock Purdy's of the world, and they're still playing great football, but they're not Mahomes, and I don't think there's any further explanation that's needed. Running back, honorable mention to Devon Achane. Absolutely going crazy. Already has more touchdowns in his short NFL career than Kyle Pitts does in his third year of playing in the NFL. Achane, the 84th pick in the draft. Kyle Pitts, 80 picks earlier than that, and of course, a couple years before, the 4th overall pick. Little off topic there, but it still blows my mind about Devon Achane scoring more than Kyle Pitts already in one season. Honorable mention to him, the absolute killer speed, over 12 yards, a carry that he's averaging. Already quite a few touchdowns on the year, but the actual all-pro running back is going to be Christian McCaffrey. The yards, the touchdowns, the scrimmage yards, what he's actually doing and providing for the Niners, one of the best trades we've seen in a while, and I'm so grateful that CMC was able to stay healthy. Wide receiver 1, Tyreek Hill, might be the best player in the league right now, the scariest, most unguardable player in the NFL. We see after they come off of a week against the Bills, Tyreek Hill, his season low in targets, him and Jalen Waddle not combining for a lot, comes back this week. Great game. Yes, it's against the Giants, but Tyreek Hill is unquestionably the best, if not the second best wide receiver in the NFL. Going on to wide receiver 2, Justin Jefferson. It is unfortunate that he is going to be out with that hammy. He is going to be on IR, possibly missing those 4 weeks, a month, maybe more. We'll have to see as things play out. I want to give an honorable mention to Puka Nacua as well, though. The rookie coming in, setting the records early on under that tutelage of Sean McVay, really playing his ass off right now as people are not giving him a ton of respect, but they're going to start as the season goes over. Puka Nacua, honorable mention here, with wide receiver 2 being Justin Jefferson on the first quarter all-pro team. Tight end, Travis Kelce, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We could have put a Sam Laporta in here. We could have put a Mark Andrews in here. We could have put a George Kittle in here. But I think when we talk about the tight end position as a whole, we all know that Kelce takes it far and away. I was going to do individual O-lineman, or maybe one O-lineman, one guard, one tackle, one center. I'm just going to go the entire team for the offensive line, and that's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're the best line in the league right now. Of course, we have competition of the Lions and the Eagles and the defensive back. Boy, Marshawn Lattimore, 23 in the goal. Not who's on the jersey, but you guys know why I'm representing. The Saints got a 34-0 win, and Marshawn Lattimore over this year has undoubtedly been a top elite corner in this league, whether I was a Saints fan or not. The PFF grading, what the Saints are doing defensively, the yards they're allowing per game on the passing secondary is absolutely undeniable. DB2 for my all-pro team is going to go to Jaire Alexander. Jaire Alexander will be DB2 here. Great corner, obviously, over in Green Bay. We know what Jaire is capable of. Very gritty, very physical corner. It's going to match up against any best wide receiver you see. And he's just now getting into the peak of his career, it feels like, still being a young player. Got to give all the credit to Jaire Alexander, just 26 years old and sporting a good PFF grade every possible year that he can. Defensive tackle. Y'all might be a little shocked by this one, but I'm going Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter has the second most pressures in the NFL by a defensive tackle with 20. This man is a rookie. He is making people pay as a Philadelphia Eagle for not taking him earlier in the draft. You got to absolutely love what you're seeing from Jalen Carter. He is regularly beating pass rushes, regularly able to stop runs. He's just outmanning and outmuscling any offensive lineman you put in front of him. For the edge, I'm going to go TJ Watt. Being an absolute menace this year, he will be on pace to break that sack record. We know he should have arguably got it a couple of seasons ago. TJ Watt with the Steelers, no difference here. You hear the last name of Watt, so you know what he's capable of. Fred Warner at the linebacker position, arguably the best linebacker in the NFL next to the linebacker 2 that's going to be coming in. I'll mention that in a second. Fred Warner is the captain of that team. Fred Warner is the type of player that he's always been with the San Francisco 49ers, providing that defensive presence under that tutelage of multiple D coordinators, under that tutelage of Kyle Shanahan. And he's on the best team in the NFL, so it's not hard to pick him out here for one of the best players. Linebacker 2, Roquan Smith. great trade to the Ravens when it happened. I was grateful that he was able to escape the Bears realistically and go over to a smash mouth defensive culture like the Baltimore Ravens. And we know the Ravens are always going to provide defensively. And when Roquan Smith has a chance to be active in that, still sporting a good PFF grade, still making multiple plays in multiple positions on the field, you can't turn away from Roquan Smith and what he's done so far in the NFL season. Jesse Bates, safety 1, arguably the best safety in the league, next to safety 2, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Jesse Bates balling out with the Falcons right now. The Falcons knew what they were getting in Jesse Bates. That's why they picked him up, paid him what they did. And ultimately, it's paying off. The Falcons needed a solid reinforcement in that secondary, and that's what Jesse Bates gives them, still being a great young player. And as much as I hate to see him over in the NFC, because the Saints are going to have to see him twice this year, once early next year, once in the game that all the homies and I are going to in Atlanta, Jesse Bates being a very, very good safety is something that a Saints fan like me does not want to see. But I got to give him his credit. And Minkah Fitzpatrick, a guy that has been at the top of the safety position for quite a few years now. We know what Minkah Fitzpatrick is capable of at that position, what he's consistently done at that position year in and year out. So it's no shock that Minkah makes the list. The first quarter all-pro team, first one I've ever done. Quarterback Mahomes, running back Christian McCaffrey, honorable mention to Devon Achane. Wide receiver 1 and 2, Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson, honorable mention to Puka Nacua. Tight end Travis Kelce, the entire offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. On the defensive side of the ball, DB 1 and 2 are Marshawn Lattimore and Jair Alexander, defensive tackle Jalen Carter, edge TJ Watt, Fred Warner at the linebacker 1 position, Roquan Smith at the linebacker 2 position, Jesse Bates and Minkah Fitzpatrick as the 2 all-pro safeties. Y'all get in the chat, get in the comments, let me know what you thought about me basically ranking the best players through the first few weeks of the NFL season at almost every offensive and defensive position.